A wild weekend at OU Texas gives way to a wicked weather situation. Tonight we cover all the angles, tornadoes to touchdowns. This is OU Nightly.
Severe weather rips across Norman, and tonight we have team coverage of what is left behind. Hello and welcome to OU Nightly. I'm Ben Thomas.
And I'm Kaitlyn Deggs. 10 tornadoes and dozens of reports of hail damage. Tonight, Oklahoma is picking up the pieces from the first hit of the severe weather season.
OU Nightly's Shannon Ehrhardt kicks off our team coverage. She's live in Norman, where people are dealing with hail damage once again.
I'm here at Champion's Auto Hail Repair Shop, where many people took their vehicles in today after the hailstorm yesterday left glass all over Norman.
Basically, we were in the laundry room and we could hear all the banging from the hail. It was really loud. And then we started hearing shattering from the windows breaking and everything. It was really scary.
A storm last April left its mark in West Norman. This time, it's more downtown and East Norman.
Get like hail like this bad here in this area for probably 5-6 years, and bam, this year we get it twice. So I'm like, really?
It's just a fact of life that we're going to see these from time to time. Very unusual for it to be in the same spot.
Once again, shattered windows and busted windshields line the streets of Norman.
So it was dark, so it was harder to see the front. The front is cracked. And then I have this over it now, but there's complete holes in the back of my windshield.
And for some, this isn't the first time glass covered their car floors.
Almost 3 months to get it fixed because you had to wait. And I just got it back 2 weeks ago, and last night was another hail party. I'll go like, oh, here goes the windshield, so smash, 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 smash.
Experts say no matter what, you should not head out when a storm is near, especially to protect your vehicle. From Champion's Auto Hail Repair Shop, Shannon Ehrhardt, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Shannon. Car damage is just the beginning. Norman businesses are dealing with broken windows and other storm damage. OU Nightly's Kayla Davis continues our team coverage from the downtown area.
Earlier this morning, the ground directly behind me was covered in glass from all the broken windows here on Main Street. I spoke with many business owners as they scrambled to pick up from the damage from last night's storm. Shattered windows and neon signs, broken light bulbs, and debris in glass-filled sidewalks. That's what Norman shop owners found Monday morning. The historic Sooner Theater studio damaged, along with other buildings on the south side of Main Street.
We've got obviously some glass missing from several windows and a couple skylights that were knocked out, and I'm pretty sure our roof is totaled.
One small business owner is rejoicing as she found her Pilates studio untouched by the storm.
I am very happy to report that I did not lose any windows in the hailstorm last night, and I'm really, really grateful.
The first step, call your insurance. An agent at Garner Insurance made temporary repairs to an office window this morning and expects his phone to ring off the hook all day.
It's been a rough year here in Oklahoma, as everybody knows. So good luck, everybody. Hopefully we can get through this.
Many of the damaged businesses are nonprofits, and they're asking for those who are fortunate enough to be without damage to help in any way they can. Reporting live from Main Street, Kayla Davis, OU Nightly.
And we are not done with the strong storms. There's more on the way.
So prepare for tomorrow while still reeling from tonight's damage. OU Nightly's Juliana Mejia joins us first with a first look at the forecast.
Yes, yeah, Kaitlyn, Ben, I mean, clearly there's been discussion and comparison of this storm to April's storm. You can see got a couple of photos here of some of the hailstones that fell. This was particularly in Campus Lodge Apartments in Norman. There was a 3-inch sized hail reported just east of Norman. And so definitely a wide range of hailstones that were reported, kind of swath. You can see this car really took the brunt of the damage. This was right here on OU's campus, and that whole front windshield windshield completely shattered. So going into tomorrow, we do have additional chances for some additional severe weather. You can see that enhanced risk really up towards more so the northwestern portion of the state. And then again, so that'll be that timing towards the late evening more so. We've got some chances for storms throughout the day intermittently, but really focus on the severe chances going into the evening. And then all of this system coming through will bring us some more fall-like temperatures.
Thank you, Juliana. And avoiding hail damage brought parking drama to one campus garage last night. OU Nightly's Logan Morrow tells us what happened.
Cars parked in every empty space possible, regardless of parking pass or permission. The storm warnings expired and students were stuck, unable to get home.
This guy was basically just like, people have been waiting for like an hour because this car had kind of like parked in the middle of the way.
This parking job caused one group to take matters into their own hands, literally.
And they had like attached like a cable to it, and there was like a truck that was trying to like pull it out of the way. But the cable like snapped. They ended up getting it moved enough to get the truck through, and then there was just one guy like directing all the cars through.
With another chance for severe weather tomorrow, OU Parking Services says to plan in advance. Logan Morrow, OU Nightly.
OU Parking Services says to only park in actual spaces and never block others in. Be sure to move your car by 8 the next morning if you do not have a valid parking pass. And call OU PD if someone is blocking others from entering or exiting the garage.
For people like me, last night was a first for many experiencing tornadoes in Oklahoma. Find out how international students fared during the storms last night.
Plus, an unlikely hero stepped in and led the Sooners to a comeback in what some are calling the greatest Red River rivalry game of all time. We'll have more on the game coming up in sports.
Wait, is that the tornado right there? Like dead ass? Look.
Where?
Look at my camera. Look at my camera. Look at my camera. Dead ass.
Tornado sirens sounded last night. OU students rushed for cover. During the tornado warning, students across campus were hunkered down in one of the university's many storm shelters. And for 2 foreign exchange students here, it was a seriously once-in-a-lifetime experience. OU Nightly's Harry Robinson, who is from Great Britain, is live on the South Oval with the story.
Thanks, guys. Students across OU's campus were hungered down in storm shelters last night. There was a real air of uncertainty and magnitude, especially amongst the foreign students in Tradition Square, the majority foreign exchange population.
Yes, we took ourselves to a shelter to cover the scene as it unfolded. As the night sky turned electric and the heavens opened, students at Tradition Square sought sanctuary from the hail and high winds in their storm shelter, a small indoor basketball court.
And there was like this like massive bang, and that's set off like a car alarm. So.
Oh, I was in Dallas earlier today. I was quite wrecked. It's been a long weekend. I wasn't anticipating this.
For many seeking protection from the golf ball-sized hailstones, it was their first tornado experience in a time of uncertainty, but there was one student in the know.
So what do you study?
Meteorology.
At the University of Oklahoma? What did you know about the kind of signs of the storm leading up to when it kicked off?
Yeah, the threat's been with us for a few days now, and every single update has got worse and worse and worse. And then the storms developed in the afternoon today, and I've been tracking them all the way. And so we're in a tornado warning now. So we're all in the shelter. And no, it looks like we may have a direct hit on campus for the first time.
One staff member, who didn't want to be named, said, "People need to know the difference between a tornado watch and a tornado warning. They put everyone in danger by coming in and out of the shelter after the warning had already happened." Some in the shelter needed support, while others were just bored with proceedings, but everyone could appreciate the extraordinary events of the evening. Reporting for OU Nightly, this is Adam Dickinson and Harry.
And we can't emphasise enough how significant this was for the foreign students of Tradition Square, many experiencing their first tornado. It certainly was a cultural shock and a meteorological shock for those living there. For OU Nightly, I'm Harry Robinson.
And I'm Adam Dickinson.
Thank you, Harry and Adam. You don't have to be from Europe to experience your first tornado. I'm from Chicago, and my first tornado warning was last night too. But for some who live here in Norman, this is not the first time they've had to deal with storm damage.
This house in East Norman was hit by the April 28th hailstorm and couldn't get roof repairs scheduled until today, the day after another hailstorm hit Norman. It's kind of like a double whammy for Norman homeowners. Roofers are still working to repair the damage from the storm nearly 6 months ago. Last night, more hail, more destruction, and more calls coming into Hero General Contracting. The company will have to reassess the roofs they put on recently and will likely roof some houses twice. Hero project manager Sean Kearney says roofing materials are still back ordered from the spring storm and windows are like gold.
We started getting calls last night. So we kind of looked around the neighborhoods and we looked around the areas and seen if anyone needed any boarded up windows or tarped or anything like that. We had a lot of leak calls, a lot of debris coming into the yards, and it's been pretty hectic.
The real question is another round of severe weather on tap for Tuesday night into Wednesday in Norman. Could this be round 3 of hail? I'm Hannah Gard, OU Nightly.
And other repair crews say everyone should expect to wait a few weeks at least to get started.
In a quick break from the weather, students, faculty, and staff take part in a celebration today. Find out what Indigenous Peoples Day is all about and how the community is honoring it.
And more videos of last night's extreme weather. The hard part is we may get some more of this tomorrow, Juliana.
Yes, yeah, we are definitely looking at another amount of some significant weather. We'll have all of that in the full forecast. Well, welcome back to OU Nightly. Just another look at some of the damage that we've seen. This was aftermath of the tornado down in Anadarko, Oklahoma. You can see it was the front office of a lumberyard and then a storage warehouse that saw very significant damage so far. You can see reviewing over this radar track of this storm. So you can see these bright pinks kind of indicating the strongest parts of that storm, and as it approaches Norman, and then again blowing up here in this really strong line, just this whole system you saw where all those severe thunderstorm warnings were, and at this point Norman being under that tornado warning, and then progressing over into the eastern portion of the state, again progressing on, just holding on to numerous warnings. So of course we'll actually take a look now too at this hail swath specifically, as that went just straight northeast through the metro area, and there at about 8:45 landing over Norman. So again, looking at the reports now, we've got the tornado reports, then the hail reports, and the wind reports all layered here. And so you can see it was rather significant events, and as we talked about, this isn't the end of some significant weather. So fortunately today has been a nice break from rain and rather scary, ominous skies out there. It's been beautiful, very sunny. Winds are easy right now in the OKC metro area. Dew points are dry in this aftermath. But going into tomorrow, this is what we're talking about. So in the morning, we've got some scattered chances for additional rain just kind of across the state, and again intermittently throughout the day. Now it's going into the evening, again talking about those bright pink colors, that again brings in those hail chances. So you can see that really is focused on central Oklahoma, the southeastern portion of the state also seeing a decent amount of rain, and then continuing on through the night. This is where that severe threat really holds out for those several hours going into about the 2 o'clock hour. You can see that strong line again, a significant linear system lining up. And then we've got this gap here across pretty much the metro area where we see an additional line of storms kind of grow and develop and push towards the east. So this is definitely, again, hazards are in play. So all modes of severe weather are possible. However, tornado being on the lower end compared to yesterday's events, and that's really focused towards the northwestern portion portion of the state, whereas we are focused on damaging winds once again and some chances for hail. So lows tonight cooling off quite a bit, seeing the 40s up in the northwestern portion of the state, and then highs tomorrow a little bit warm up towards Guyman, seeing about 81, and then seeing the mid 70s, very much those fall-like temperatures across the state. And you can see just additional rain chances all throughout the next several days until we go into the weekend. We have some much more pleasant conditions.
And thank you, Juliana. The OU community is hosting a full day of celebration throughout campus in recognition of Indigenous Peoples Day. Today is a national day of recognition for the Indigenous community following President Biden's formal proclamation. American Indian Programs and Services is hosting a number of events across campus today in honor and recognition of Indigenous people. Many across the nation, including here at OU, see today as a time to celebrate who they are. You can find more information on today's events on the American Indians Programs and Services website.
The Red River Showdown was quite possibly the greatest game I have ever seen. Ashley, can you tell us more about that Sooner win down in Dallas?
OU's new QB certainly put on a show at the Cotton Bowl, making for one of the most memorable Red River Showdowns. And while the Sooners stay undefeated, so does Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. More to come with sports when OU Nightly returns. The Sooners won a nail-biter on Saturday against Texas in a thrilling showdown where they overcame a 28-7 deficit, matching the second largest comeback in program history. After chance for freshman quarterback Caleb Williams rain out against West Virginia, fans got what they asked for. Williams came in and saved the day for the Sooners, completing 15 of 24 passes for 211 yards and 2 touchdowns, after replacing Spencer Rattler, who had 2 turnovers turned into Texas TDs. For your game wrap-up, here's Shannon and Caroline Grace.
Well, the Oklahoma Sooners took home the win in the Red River rivalry, and man, was it electric. The score 55-48 in favor of the Sooners. I'm Shannon Ehrhardt alongside Caroline Grace. Caroline, that environment, the Cotton Bowl environment, is always huge, always a big deal for both teams. What was your favorite part of this game?
I think my favorite part was not only getting to finally see Caleb Williams' big debut, but also the defense. I think the big defense that everyone was talking about finally came out to play today, and their ability to go 3 and out in the second half. Oklahoma has not been a second half team this whole season, and that's what we saw today.
And you know, it was Kennedy Brooks who brought home that game-winning touchdown. They could have went for a field goal, decided not to. Kennedy Brooks played his heart out today. We haven't seen him play that well in a very long time. It's been a lot of Eric Gray we've been seeing. Kennedy Brooks ran all over this Texas defense in that time of possession you were talking about. Really just kept the momentum going, especially with Caleb Williams. We felt the energy in the stadium. Everybody was screaming, cheering, like it was insane.
On Game Day U this morning, I did talk a lot about time of possession. In the first half, that's exactly what happened. Texas kept the ball in their hands. Oklahoma wasn't able to stop them. Second half, completely different story. I think that Oklahoma and Lincoln Riley's play calling did a phenomenal job of executing where Texas has weaknesses.
Absolutely, and the linebackers, we talked about how they struggled this morning, and they really came to play and showed out and shut down that Texas offense. And man, was it a great game. We were lucky to be here. But for Game Day U, I'm Shannon Ehrhardt, and this is Caroline Grace. Have a great night.
And throwing it over to some Sooner QBs who are flying high in the NFL. Baker Mayfield bounced back with a 300-yard passing game against the Chargers, the 10th of his young career. Too bad for Mayfield that his defense couldn't keep up. LA knocked off the Browns 47-42. And Jalen Hurts took the ball into his own hands, literally, against the Panthers as he scored 2 second-half touchdowns and led the Eagles back from a 12-point deficit. Philly snapped a 3-game losing streak, beating the Panthers 21-18. Now, there's only one Oklahoma, and there's also only one undefeated team left in the NFL, led by former Sooner Kyler Murray. In a defensively physical battle, the Cardinals improved to 5-0 for the first time since 1974 on Sunday by defeating the 49ers 17-10. That's all the time we have for sports, but you're in luck because it's Monday. Be sure to catch Sooner Sports Path live at 7:30 on Bally Sports Oklahoma. Kaitlyn and Ben, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Ashley. And if you're wanting to trick up your next vacation and maybe see the destination from space instead, well, you're in luck.
We'll tell you how you can and how much it'll be when OU Nightly returns.
I'm Lisa Maslovskaya at the OU Nightly Update Desk. In Moscow, Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny is congratulating a journalist, Dmitry Muratov, for winning the Nobel Peace Prize. The prize honors the investigative newspaper Novaya Gazeta that covers Russian political and social affairs. It honors Alexei Navalny and other journalists who were imprisoned while reporting on Russian government. That's it for now. Back to you in the studio.
And Ben, now is your chance to see the world's greatest treasures from the edge of space.
Stratospheric ballooning company Worldview has opened reservations for its 5-day trips. The first flight will fly over the Grand Canyon in 2024 and seats cost $50,000.
In the future, passengers can see places like the Great Barrier Reef and the Great Wall of China.
And let's toss over to Juliana for their last look at weather.
Yes, yeah. So just again, today was a nice break. It was honestly beautiful out there, pretty dry, pretty mild in those temperatures. And as you can see, we got plenty more of those rain chances again, scattered intermittently throughout the day tomorrow across the state. But really those severe chances coming into play more so towards the evening and overnight hours into early Wednesday morning as that pushes eastward. And so you can see additional chances for hanging on to Wednesday morning. And then we have a beautiful, beautiful weekend and a return of much more fall-like temperatures.
Thanks for tuning in to OU Nightly. We're live every weekday from Gaylord Hall on the campus of the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30. Good night.